There might be some who may feel that my claiming that God is calling the church out from the church is wrong. So, before I give you that which God has given me to share, let me share a few clippings from news of those who are doing something I have no idea what they're doing. Of removing the crosses from the churches may seem like a trivial matter. It's a very symbol, and it's being removed. It's manifesting a truth. You'll see in these clippings where there are those who go along with this idea, all in the name of unity and peace. And there are those who will fight this. We're not called to judge it or condone it. We're not called to join it or resist it. Little to our understanding, unbeknown to us, it's God weaning the church from the church and using the world to do this. It comes out in my other videos. So view this clippings, then listen to them with peace. It might make more sense as why God's called weaning the church from church and its buildings. God is calling the church to its true meaning, a called out assembly from the secular and religious worlds, and become the strangers and pilgrims God has called us to be, and look forward to a kingdom not made with hands. I want to take each one of these articles that I just flashed up on the screen, but I don't want you to get too involved with it. Remember the warning in my series in our road. We're to see and observe that which is going on left and right of the word. And then we're to take those, what we have seen and heard, and don't give up our opinions and ideas of. This is the world's opinion and ideas. And this secular and religious ideas of what's going on in this world today. You can read the article and you will be stirred in your emotions and your mind. Put that down and go on. I'll be bringing up other things that will come out later. So here it is. You can read it. What I'll do, I'll scroll through it real quick here, and you can read it. Pause it and read it. There's the opening remarks. Pause that and read it. And when you've done that, I'll keep scrolling a little more. You can pause it and give a moment if you want to. Or I'll put the links at the bottom in the comment area of this video. So moving on, let me take up the next article. Here's one about Joel Osteen and how he's opened his new building. He expects 30,000 people. Read this article. This is an attack on what he's doing, which I can understand. You don't want to join this attack. I mean, they're shouting the truth from the rooftops to this article and to video and to the YouTube. So read this. I mean, it'll stir you. I tell you, it will stir you. But focus on this one point here. The thing that stands out most about this new building is there is not one cross in the sanctuary to be seen. Osteen claims that he does not want a cross in the building because he said it was better to remove any and all stumbling blocks from the building so that the unsaved could be more comfortable coming to the services. Well, this is blasphemy. Now read this part. It's the first verse that comes to your mind. The cross is an offense, but in a good sense. It's the same thing as saying the cross of Christ is a stumbling block to someone. How blasphemous can one person be before the mighty Lord God decides to strike him down? Now, you don't want to get in this. Understand what's being done. I understand the reaction. You ever seen him? I've seen him on Oprah Winfrey show. I mean, she embraces the new age movement, and he fits right in. I mean, you can. I may scroll this real quick. You can read the rest of the article, or you can go down to the link, or you can just pause it. I don't want to hang on to this too long. I want to go to the next article. There it is. Let me go to the next article. But those of you who may not have seen this and know what's going on, this link, which will be in the commentary below, gives you all the crosses that are coming down off the churches. This is worldwide, not just in Sweden. This is worldwide. You can pause this and look at each one of these clippings or photographs. Tank, she's the one that started all this. Imagine that. I mean, talk about Judas. I mean, I don't say that's judgment. I'm going to get into my piece at the end of all this, and it should go on this video called "The Narrow Road." How I mean, it could stir you, and you might want to react. There's a couple up here that you see a reaction. Yeah, you can pause it at any time you want to take a look at these pictures, or you can go to the link later on. Here's one reaction. Yeah, oh my God. Wait a minute, let me find it here. This one. Where is it at? Here's it. Where it's coming up now. Worldwide. There are those who join you. They're taking the cross down. Imagine that, taking it down. That's one side of this road that are giving into it. I'm not asking you to do that. Here's that one photograph that stood out. Be offended. I understand that. It makes you want to go out and do what these people are doing. We're standing up. Okay, I understand that. You can join the resistance. But you got to consider something which I'll be bringing out here. People won't believe this. That's why they say, you're treasonous. You're going against the church. No, I'm not. I'm not going against the church. How have I told you? Because of who we are. Not only just the worldwide church, who are called out not to be part of this world. I hope I can make some sense here. People, I already know they're not going to understand. And they want to go out there and start this kind of protest. Now, you can do that. Or you can go off on the other side and join guys like Osteen and the rest of them that give in, take all the crosses down, stuff like that. There's something better. A view and perspective is to understand. I mean, I'm going to say something. It sounds like Jeremiah when he said to the nation of Israel that they were descendants of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. They charged him with high treason. They charged him with heresy. I got a video on that. I may add that with this one to come up as to a defense as to why I'm saying what I'm saying. I mean, it ain't me. Now, I'd like to join that. Go out there and protest against them and tell them, be offended. Take down your crescent moon. If I have to take my cross down, you have to take your crescent moon down, and eventually you have to tell the Jews to take down their symbol, the Star of David. Then you would have to tell the Buddhists to take down the wheel of Buddha. Believe me, that day will come. It doesn't just start with the cross of Jesus. Eventually it's going to be the Star of David. Then it's going to be the crescent moon. All symbols will come down of this Antichrist that's coming. He won't worship the God of his father or our fathers. He'll worship the God of force and power. He'll put his own image up and ban all images other than that which is him. That's what I'm going to try to bring out. That's why it's the hand of God working. And He's using this for us. I'm not speaking to the Jew or to the Muslim. I'm speaking to the Christian. I understand this, to be offended. Tell them to be offended. You don't want to join that battle. You're fighting the very. How would you like to find out that you're fighting the very hand of God? Israel had to find out the hard way. They fought Nebuchadnezzar. I mean, this other video, that's what I'm saying, we're going to have to put that in this video. It's going to be a red long video to explain what I mean. So you understand what I'm talking about. Those who follow this now road in my series, you understand what I'm talking about. Let me move on. I already dragged this out too long. Alright, this one hits home. Obama demands South Carolina churches to take down take their crosses down, calling the Christians across a symbol of oppression and unfathomable tyranny to many people. Obama Day ordered federal agents to start removing crosses from the top of all churches in South Carolina. I mean, I don't want to get into this. I mean, if that has stirred, you imagine down the Bible Belt how they're going to react to that. You already know how they're going to react. They're going to stir you up. You're going to get bogged down with the cares and fears of this world. Now, people say, "Well, Paul, you should fight for this." I'm going to be bringing out videos telling you what you're doing. You're not fighting them. You're not fighting Obama and the federal government. It'd be like Jeremiah telling them, don't fight Nebuchadnezzar. God is disciplining you, Israel. God's disciplining you, church. That was supposed to be a called out assembly. Now I'm going to briefly say that in my video that I hope to bring that out up here later in the same video here. A reading of an article I wrote on this. So you might better understand, not turn this video off and think I'm preaching heresy. We are a called out assembly. Israel had wanted to be a nation like the rest of the nations. God allowed it. They rejected God as their king, and the kingdom that Abraham talked about, a kingdom not made with hands. They want a kingdom made with hands. Now God allows it for a time period. He has his reasons. I mean, God was offended at that. I mean, this is going to come out in the video. But he allows it. The church was to be a representative of the kingdom of God, manifesting it through their church buildings. But when the church building takes up the role other than our representation of a pilgrim stranger stance and start building kingdoms here, God will wean you like he did to Israel. When they got away from representing the kingdom of God to the kingdom of heaven in their kingdom, they became like the rest of the nations. God weaned them of that. Well, that'll come out here in this later in this video. But that just gives you another. Obama demands South Carolina church to take down. That would stir you in your thoughts and your emotions. So the religious people would really get fired up. Well, the world would care less. They'd say, yeah, good riddance. They would say good riddance. Let me get another one. Here's one that comes from Worthy News. Now, you would expect this from China. They're atheistic. But there are also Christians in China being persecuted. More crosses removed from, I can't pronounce the name, province, from one of the provinces in China. Now, catch this and think of in the United States, what I just read about Obama. Chinese authorities, you could say American authorities, have again resumed removing crosses from the churches in this province. According to their news, in addition to more than 1,500 crosses removed from Protestant and Catholic churches in this province since the end of 2013, 13 more crosses were forcibly removed last week. To facilitate these removals, the communist government has tried to stop congregations from even discussing its anti-cross campaign during Mass. I mean, I said all those links, I'll put down the bottom there. That's just, I mean, there's so many more. Get into it. You go to, let me back up here. Go here. Go to Google, so put crosses removed from churches. You'll get Osteen's article, this lesbian bishop article, Norway, which she was from Sweden, Norway area, China's article. You get the pictures from the image of all the crosses being removed. I mean, it's going to stir you emotionally. Stay on the narrow road. Oh, let me get in now to these things I've written. I hope I haven't lost your attention up to this point. Listen to what I'm saying. Take the heed. Don't get involved with this. Don't let, I mean, this is trying to rouse your emotions and thoughts. Don't join the secular world with this, and sure don't want to join the religious world on this. You got to come out. Thank God for His weaning. He's preparing us for kingdom not be for hands. Weaning the church from the church. What others have done or are doing in light of this subject matter, put it aside. If you have heard or read of such a thing, and don't go off and do a web search to find out. Let what I'm about to share with you speak for itself. With that said, let me share something that will bring out the title of this article, Weaning the Church from Church. Whatever view you may or may not have had of this word church will be weaned from your thinking. The only way that this could ever be accomplished would require the experience of what is to be offered at the end of this long article. If you have disdain for long drawn out writings, you can stop at this point and stick with whatever ideas you have of this word church. What is being offered may not be of any interest to you. Might be asked, who will have an interest? The answer would be those that have wearied of plain church may have given up on ever finding something that fits the true meaning of this word church, which once meant those called out from the secular religious ideas. Something that addresses our being pilgrims and strangers in this world and those who do not fit in either the secular or religious crowd. If you're second guessing what I'm talking about and think you have heard of others who have tried this, starting in a storefront church building, they only end up becoming just another built church building, built on yet another street corner, across the street from yet another church building, you would be wrong and probably will stop reading at this point. Good. Because what is about to be shared, something you will have missed, will pass you by thinking you have seen this before. Well, if you're still with me, don't think I'm being arrogant, I will start sharing what I've seen and heard. Take it for what it's worth. Here's what I've been told over the last few months. The weaning of this idea of church has already begun. Some are seeing this, yet don't see the alternative to what we all have seen and experienced in our lifetimes and read through the history of the church. The key is found in just about all that I've seen and taught over years in an indirect way. It hinges on the word temporary. Everything, even this matter of church and our ideas of it, were to be temporary and not a permanent thing. Anything, and I mean anything, that would get this called out somebody to lose its pilgrim and stranger mentality would have to be addressed. And if found to be an entrapment to secular religious ideas of permanency, would end. Tired of playing church and don't want to meet just to end up starting another church? Don't want to have what has been tried before in what has been called house meetings, Bible study groups, get-togethers, food, fun, and fellowship? Should this called out stem ever start drifting to some form of permanency, it will be ended. Mode and intent of this new adventure is to wean us all from any idea we have ever seen or heard of church and renew in our mind its true experience, one that was to be temporary, with a willingness to let it go should others seek to make it a permanent matter. As strange as it might sound, it would mean reaching beyond any idea of the early church, which has been tried over the years, even those thinking to return to the early church roots and procedures. I know that has been tried and has not worked. If you don't believe this, then go off, apart from what I will be offering here, and try doing this as others have done, and fail at it as they have. There's no going back. But there definitely is a command to press on to other things. The Jewish nation is our supreme example of holding to a kingdom of this world mentality. Once again, if you do not believe this, go off and join them as many have. What I am offering here is not for you. For those of you in a church setting and see the corruption many times that goes on here, you might feel like a police officer seeing that the police force has become corrupt and finding it hard to quit because its pension is at stake, or finding it hard to follow unlawful orders, only hanging in there, hoping to get his time in and collect his pension because they don't know an alternative to being an officer, or maybe they have 10 or 15 years in, and hoping to finish and retire with a pension getting it behind him. You're leaving what you have come to see as corrupt or way off the track of the original idea of church isn't a matter of loss of salvation. Though they might give you that impression, leaving you to believe that if you leave their idea of the church, you have left that which God Himself has ordained. Imagine the reaction of the early church, many of which were Jewish, and the Jewish traditions given to their forefathers by God Himself. Imagine how they felt leaving their religion and become a Christian or follower of Christ. It meant their being excommunicated and many times death. At this moment, you might be excommunicated, but protected from them killing you. That might change someday. With the church becoming more and more apostate, it will be this apostate church that will seek you out and have you killed. So ask yourself, do you want to come out and bear the reproach of doing this? Or do you want to wait it out and be part of a shaking of the not only the religious world, but also the secular world? I know that this was promised to occur once more. God always keeps His promise. Without a doubt, the only kingdom that will withstand this promise shaking is an eternal kingdom that many claim to believe, but will soon find out if what they claim is true or not as the walls around them fall. Take a look around you. Do you see people, places, and things that have stood for years now falling or fallen? This clearly is, as the Lord has told us, the year of the standing or falling. Where do you stand? What's your foundation? I've been sharing it over and over and over again. A foundation established before this shakable kingdom of this world. Paul. Get into my series, The Kingdom of the Continuance. You're not getting it anywhere else. I don't know. If you find something like this on the web, it gets past, like I've said here, their reasoning for coming out of the institutional church. I'm coming out because I see it. The kingdom of the continuance had no beginning, has no end, was, is, and always shall be. That's the kingdom that was revealed to the father of our faith, Abraham. And thank God his name got to Abraham changing from just a Jewish matter, but Gentile and Jewish, and a called out assembly from the Jew and Gentile world. God bless you.